Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We got another episode of the Gafford and Brown Show. I am Lamar Gafford,
I'm Robert Brown.
and today we're pretty much going to talk about what's going on with today's games, preview them a little bit, make our picks for those games, probably make our picks also for some of the NFL games too. Probably going to have this as a little bit of a short show with us. Also, we're probably in preparations for next week. But I guess right now we got ourselves a pretty good college slate starting off here with a couple of good games here, a couple of teams getting some scares early on right now. Looks like right now we have like such as South Carolina. UCF was hanging around in the ball game. South Carolina's winning the game 28-18, but still I'm just impressed by UCF right now of how they've been holding on to this game.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive game by them so far. Right now, they look as if they can walk out here with a win.
Right. I mean, once again, I guess it's just again when you're in. The good thing is you got the home crowd right now, so you got that pumping up right behind you, and you're pretty much playing with house money in this case. 'Cause, it's like nothing to lose. You got your crowd right behind you, and you got yourself the Carolina team, the South Carolina team that's number 12 in the nation here, and if you knock them off, that helps you out a whole lot. Helps your conference out a whole lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. And they move up. It's just being the SEC team is always a plus.
Right. So got that right here, and this game is pretty much going on. Then we got some more games that are going on right now. Like Miami's putting South Florida to the woodshed, 49-14.
Yeah, they're winning games that they should win, and they're winning them in a dominant fashion. So hopefully, this continues to help them make their BCS push. Wow. But yeah, back to Miami. You just hope that this, isn't just necessarily a trend, and not necessarily accident, more a trend.
Exactly. So far, starting off the season, looks like it'd be safe to say that they're going to start off the season 4-0, because this game's pretty much over with. And right now, they're already looking impressive. It's kind of reminding me of the 2009 squad when they had that murderous schedule to start off the season and started off 3-1, only lost to Virginia Tech. And everybody was thinking that the U is back at that point in time. Maybe I just hope that right now that they can continue this progression, continue the momentum here, and possibly make something more out of it as well. But you may never know. But hopefully they can do it.
Yeah, hopefully so, because they're one of the major parts of college football history during the 80s, and those drafts of the 90s and early 2000s were pretty significant to the NFL, just to football. It's always good to see them do well.
Right. Now we got ourselves actually a little bit of an upset alert too, with West Virginia up on Oklahoma State 24-21. My first thought was, the first game I looked at today was West Virginia, and had a little bit of a headache. Saw their uniforms all yellow, pretty much made my head hurt. But oh yes,
I can't recall predictions if we made predictions last week, but right now, who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with LSU in this game. I really think that I like their quarterback play. It seems like when Cam Cameron came in there as like their offensive coordinator, it seems like that they've gotten a lot better with it. Zach Mettenberger is actually playing like a quarterback, and I think this is something that LSU has not had in a very good while. Decent quarterback play, and so I got LSU pretty much to win this game, go 5-0, but it's going to be a close one. How about you, Rob?
I'm picking LSU. Georgia got punched in the mouth by Clemson, so right now they're playing underdog. But I think LSU wins. I just think LSU's ready. Their offenses look great. The defense, we already know what they can do. I'm taking LSU 24-17 kind of game.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be more along the lines of that one. Defense, of course, defensively played game. You just imagine here's some pretty good offensive plays here and there sprinkled in. But I think just overall it's just going to be a very nice game for that one. Another big time game that we have today that comes on at the same time is also Oklahoma against Notre Dame. That game is going to be on NBC. Who you got in that one?
I'm taking Oklahoma. You?
Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's probably going to pull it off.
Notre Dame's going to be Oklahoma?
I think so. I think so.
It's not unlikely.
Right.
But Notre Dame's been kind of shaky this year.
This year, yes, and I really do have to admit that because it just seemed like their loss to Michigan was really, I guess it was a game they really could have won it either way in that one, but Michigan really beat them, really took it to them a little bit. And over the last couple of games, they really hadn't looked too good. Purdue only beating Purdue by 7 points. Where we're looking at a team like Northern Illinois really is right now taking Purdue to the woodshed, a MAC team. And then you also got Michigan State where they beat them just only by 4 points. Nothing's really looked impressive about Notre Dame, but I think they go ahead, pull out the win. And we'll see what else is going to go on because they got Arizona State next week, and I think that game is going to be in Cowboy State, the stadium. So that's going to be a big one. I think we got a lot of. It seems like compared to last week, this week we have a lot of big games coming up, and the slate is even bigger because I think one of those games also is Ole Miss and Alabama.
Right.
Ole Miss pulling off the upset or not?
I don't see it happening, but it'll be competitive.
Right. I still got Bama in this one. Not gonna choose Ole Miss quite yet, unless Ole Miss. And I've really been impressed about Ole Miss this season because of how they've played and they handled Texas and really everybody's been handling Texas, but Ole Miss has shown that they might have a little bit of a say in the West, but I don't. As far as them winning the West, it's going to be a little bit too tough because you have to worry about LSU, A&M, and Bama, and I think that's pretty much going to be tough enough to kill them. And I think they'd be fourth place if they finish in fourth place in the West. I think they should be happy about that, really.
Right.
Another big game is also Wisconsin at Ohio State. Will Ohio State lose this game? And if they don't, when's the next time you think you probably see them losing the game?
I think Ohio State wins. I really don't see them losing the game unless Michigan somehow comes out with that upset. But because that rivalry is always kind of when they play Michigan,
right?
There's never really an underdog. They're both at a level playing field because it's a rivalry game.
Exactly.
So they play with a little bit more on the line.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be the case. Looking at Ohio State's schedule, I cannot see them losing until that Michigan game as well. I know a lot of people have said they really have not looked impressive, but really, since that Buffalo game, they've shown that they could actually score some points. Of course, beating the Buffaloes and San Diego States and Florida A&Ms of the world is nothing really to sneeze at here. But I think that the schedule really sets themselves up to go against Michigan, and I think that would be the toughest matchup. I still would not be. They play against Northwestern at Northwestern next week. But I still think that I don't know if Northwestern's going to has the power to beat them. So Ohio State wins this game, and I think they pretty much go perfect until that Michigan game, and then we'll see from there and what's going to happen about that. And I think as far as the other ranked teams and stuff like that, games that are going on right now, East Carolina and North Carolina are in the barn burner. ECU is winning 45-31 over North Carolina. Northern Illinois defeated Purdue 55-24. Just crazy how that game is when Purdue is now 1-4 this season. It does not look like they're going to go to a bowl game, of course, not unless something magical happens. Games that happened earlier this week, Virginia Tech defeated Georgia Tech 17-10. And as far as some of the other ranked, as far as some of the other FBS games that have been happening, Tennessee's holding on against South Alabama 34-24, 31-24. Just how the mighty have fallen in that one, really.
Fell from top 10, not mentioning it all.
Exactly. They're like the SEC school that's kind of an afterthought, I guess. And let's see. So pretty much, I guess, which game are you most looking forward to this week?
Probably LSU Georgia. That's been the college game that's been on my list. I'm excited about seeing that game because of the rivalry and the history between Mettenberger and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that game.
Yeah, agreed too. I think anytime when you have a top battle between SEC schools, top echelon SEC schools, I think that really takes precedence over anything here because right now we know the SEC is the best football conference in college right now. I'll probably give you another SEC battle. I just would like to see how Ole Miss stacks up against Bama because I feel like Ole Miss is probably going to be Ole Miss. They got a young squad. I think they had a top recruiting class, if not last year, the year before. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they progress over these next couple of years. And I think this game here might tell a little bit about the future of Ole Miss football.
Right. Because Ole Miss gained so much hype this offseason when they got that major recruit. And, last year they had the competitive game with LSU. So they've picked up some momentum, but we still haven't necessarily seen that show, as far as conference dominance goes.
Right. And I think this is just as the biggest stage, if at all ever, just to get a chance to see how well did they get a chance to do. So I think that's pretty much going to be one of those things as well. Now shifting the focus a little bit towards the NFL, and I think we both picked the same team in this one here with the 49ers against the Rams.
Yeah,
I think we would have said the Niners, and we didn't have a show this weekend, but I think we did have the Niners pretty much. So just letting y'all know about that. But did you get a chance to see that game a little bit?
No, I didn't see it, but I saw the box score and the results, and it looks like either St. Louis has a lot of problems or the Niners just got their swagger back. So definitely interested to see how the Niners go from this game. I'm also interested to see how St. Louis goes with 2 blowout losses. This is a team a lot of people picked to go far, maybe even compete for a playoff spot. So to see them go out like that twice is pretty disheartening.
I would have thought that they have at least played the Cowboys and actually played the Niners a little bit tough because, well, I think that they could have hung around with the Cowboys and also, the Niners, since it is a conference division game. The one thing about St. Louis here that I would not be worried about a Rams fan is that these last 3 games that you played, that you had, you were on the road against Atlanta, on the road against Dallas, division game against one of the toughest teams in the NFL, and I still think that in San Francisco. 3 teams that pretty much are not a walk in the park by any stretch. And I feel like if you guys, if they can come ahead and possibly, right the ship, they got Jacksonville, they got Houston, they got Carolina, and they got Seattle in the next 4 games. And I feel like that if they can go like, I don't know, maybe 2-2, maybe 3-1 or something like that, they'll be all right.
What do you say right now? What do you have them finishing at?
Right now, I still think that they probably somewhere between 7-9 and 8-8. Going over the schedule, I feel like Jacksonville, that's a definite win right there because that team is trash. Hate to say it, but Jacksonville win. I don't think they'll beat Houston. I think they could beat Carolina on the road. Seattle, no, even though that game's at home. Don't think they could probably. You know what? I might go ahead and give them a little bit over against Seattle because that game, Monday night game. Why not? I mean, Monday night game. Their fans will probably be out there. I might be tempted to go ahead and say 3. Tennessee, I feel like they could probably win that game. Not against Indianapolis, bye week. Not against Chicago. No, maybe against Chicago. I think they probably could beat Arizona on the road, of course. The trouble that they have against Tampa Bay, that Tampa Bay's having, I think 7-9, 8-8 is pretty good for them. How about you?
I think when we first started the season, I picked them at I want to say I picked them at to be 8-8, so I'll stick with that notion.
Because they're not that bad of a team, but it's just that the point is too that it comes a time that they gotta make that next leap right there.
Right.
And by these 3 games, and especially the last 2 games, I'm impressed at how they did against Atlanta. Really impressed, losing by 7 points to them. But I felt like they took a major step back against Dallas and San Francisco. And if you want to take that next leap and try to become a playoff team, and same thing for Bradford, if he wants to try to become like a franchise quarterback, these are games that you can't be out of, like so far out of. You have to be in those games. You really have to be. And if not, well, I mean, the Rams are probably gonna. You might have to look at the mirror and think about it if it's you or not. So I think that's pretty much going to be the case there. I guess going back to a little bit about week 3, what impressed you more?
Honestly, about week 3, I would have to say maybe that the Colts, maybe. The Colts really impressed me in the game against San Francisco because I didn't expect them to be that dominant. And I was also confident that they could compete, but I didn't think it would look that good. And then them adding Trent Richardson, they really look like they might be able to take that AFC South spot.
Right, and I was really impressed that Trent scored a touchdown like in his first quarter as the coach, and that might bode a little bit here about how good is he going to be. And right now I'm looking at UCF and it looks like we got a touchdown by UCF. So, no, it's not a touchdown, but UCF is in the red zone. South Carolina is now up 28-18. UCF gets themselves a touchdown. They're within a field goal away from tying up this game here. So that's going to be something that we're going to be get a chance to see too. But I guess the impressive thing for me was the Chiefs. They're for real.
Yeah,
they are for real.
3-0, and I'm confident in them. I think they did well. I think they're a team that a lot of people should take seriously.
And speaking of, Central Florida now has a touchdown, and they are pretty much, if the extra point is good, they will be down by just 3 points with 1:54 left in the fourth quarter. Think they can pull out the upset?
I think so. I think it's possible. South Carolina is a team that hasn't necessarily been the best this year, so I think they can pull it off. I mean, it's only a 3-4 game right now.
Right. The only thing right now for Central Florida is I think this is the point here where they're going to have to kick an onside kick because they have no timeouts. So it's going to be interesting to see what do they dial up in this case. Here. I guess going back to also some more of the NFL, like we said, the Chiefs really impressed me. I guess kind of another team that kind of impressed too. The Dolphins are another squad that really impressed me right now. They're 3-0, 27-23.
I told you, man. I told you before the season started. Wild card. They are going to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what way? Will they win a division? Will it be a wild card? I'm not certain right now, but I know for sure that they definitely were a team that I had on my radar for, being competitive.
Right. And right now, I mean, it's looking good, and you're pretty much right about that because, a lot of people had the Dolphins and the Chiefs as kind of like their dark horses, and right now they've really delivered on that. I don't think they're going to win the division. Those teams are going to win their respective divisions because, as long as you're playing against quarterbacks like, the Dolphins have to worry about Tom Brady and the Chiefs have to worry about Peyton Manning, it kind of makes it a little bit hard for you to win the division.
Right.
But I think they both could probably sneak into the playoffs. And looks like right now South Carolina got the onside kick, and that game is pretty much going to be over with real quick. So, good job, good effort from Central Florida, but South Carolina is probably looks like they're going to win this game by 3 points and escape out of there with that one. So, but sorry to get sidetracked about that, but yeah, the Dolphins are probably going to go ahead. And it's going to be interesting to see which one of these teams make it to the playoffs, if not both of them. And I could get a chance to see them both play against each other, but I don't know quite yet if they're going to play against each other this season. But if they play against each other next year, I think that's going to be the game to really watch, actually.
Right.
The disappointing things that I saw this week though, the New York Giants really. I think that them laying an egg in Carolina was really not the good thing here. They only got 150 offensive yards, and they got blown out 38-0. It looked like they were just outplayed here. And I guess another disappointment here was maybe the Texans losing to the Ravens. It seemed like it bit them once again, having them back and having them down and stuff like that. So
I'll tell you now, man, Houston should be 0-3.
Right.
I mean, you look at the game against San Diego where they collapsed in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the game against Tennessee where a few mental mistakes kept Tennessee from winning that game. And then the Ravens game. I mean, Tennessee's about a team that I think is necessarily, I'm not going to say they're not good, but I would consider them elite. And I think that right now the Colts, to me, look like a better team.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they really have to be, I guess they have to be on the alert right now, too, because they can't do this. And once again, I think we should just continue to say here, if they falter here, next thing you know, Schaub could be on his way out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it looks like Schaub may become, disposable due to his age and his lack of, winning in big games, and also he's injury prone. So I really believe that he could be on his way out if he doesn't come through this year.
Right, and some of the fan base, it looks like they probably might want to see him gone, but I think especially if they don't do pretty well, then there you go. looking at some of the games here right now, Oklahoma's up on Notre Dame 7-0, and we just already got the LSU Georgia game pretty much underway right now. So we're going to be keeping an eye out on those two games as they continue to go on. So what's been the most disappointing things for you this season? Well, right now, in that week.
The NFL, probably the Giants. Top 4. Any other team I can think of? I don't know. The Giants really disappointed me. I mean, damn. I mean, they can't really. The offense is there. They can score points, but their Carolina win was just so. Man, but that's the thing about New York.
Mm-hmm.
They start the season slow. They pick up in the middle. They might struggle in the end, but you never know with this team. They could make a comeback and go to the playoffs. Who knows?
Right. Exactly. And just again, part of me just continues to wish that, I thought the Vikings were going to be much better than 0-3.
Yeah, they really have to pick it up, or you think Adrian Peterson is going to have to demand a trade.
Right. And then I think we're seeing the Steelers a shell of their former selves right now. And I don't have them as as a big disappointment, but just seeing them as 0-3 is just weird to me.
It's different, but at the same time, I'm not shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the process to survive.
Right.
A soft rebuild.
Exactly, and it's just that. Yeah, we've seen it over the last couple of years that team has kind of gotten a little bit older, especially with the defensive line, with the offensive line, still not protecting Ben as they had been doing in the past. So, there it is with that. So we're gonna go ahead and take ourselves 30-second break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about our predictions for the NFL this week and also some more things that are going on in the world of sports as well, such as a couple of quarterback changes right now that either might shake your head or you might just already knew that it was going to happen. It's the Gafford and Brown Show. And we are right back with the Gafford and Brown Show. And just as we come back on the air, LSU has scores a touchdown off of a Zach Mettenberger 40-some yard pass. And once again, hey, I'm telling you that the quarterback play right now is really helping them out, and they're really making Mettenberger look like much better than what he did last year. Much better than what he did last year. So 7-7, looks like we got ourselves a barn burner here, and this is pretty much going to be a good game.
Mettenberger with that touchdown pass and also took a nice hit. But he's looking NFL ready to me.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. I think he's a senior this year, too, right? Or something like that.
I think technically he's a junior,
mm-hmm.
but either way, he's able to leave if he wants to.
Right. And it's crazy because a lot of people are talking about him as far as the draft status. And I don't know if he's going to be drafted as high as, of course not as high as Bridgewater or Taj Boyd or.
Honestly, Asking me,
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as potential to be a NFL quarterback, I think he's above Bridgewater and a couple other guys right now. Just because he has that arm, I think he's NFL ready. I think Cam Cameron is definitely the right coordinator he needs to prepare him for the NFL.
And he really is. I mean, he knows how to do. He knows how to deal with quarterbacks here. So I guess I'll just go ahead and just like ask, where would you rank him as far as like college quarterbacks?
Right now, I would say honestly behind Johnny Manziel, I would put him at number 2.
It's a pretty good one.
What about you?
I would go ahead and say maybe 4, probably. I think with Manziel and Boyd, you have yourself speed, the ability to also scramble a little bit, and also throw the ball. So I think those two, they bring out a little bit of a dynamic here. Bridgewater, pretty good. He's pretty good. I feel like he might be the factor number 1 pick. I think the main question is going to be though too, who is he going to play against? Is he going to be challenged this year as well?
Right.
I think though he could be possibly the second best quarterback in the SEC because a lot of people have Aaron Murray, and this is a very tough one right here because Aaron Murray is very good, and AJ McCarron is showing that he's a little bit of a game manager, but then again, AJ McCarron can also throw the ball.
Yeah, he
whenever
makes
needed.
the right decision.
Right, but I think right now we're getting a chance to see Zach Mettenberger flourish out there, and if he's not able to come out this year, which I don't think that would be the best decision if he does come out this year, if he's able to come out this year. But if he waits to next year, my goodness, you think he probably could be a higher pick or something like that.
He could be number 1.
Right. So, and especially.
But honestly, right.
I
mean, honestly, it's number 1 now. I mean, you're gonna make the same money.
That's true.
As an all-around first rounder anyway.
That is true.
That number 1 pick to me isn't as big as it used to be. Financially, at least.
Right. Because gone are the days where the number 1 pick, right off the bat. I mean, Sam Bradford was the last one that really got those. $70 million, I think.
Jason Stafford had a pretty good payday, too.
Oh, yeah, that too. So, and now, with just kind of like the rookie cap scale right now, it's just kind of like, well, it kind of doesn't matter. So I guess right now it's just like the better situation that you're in. That also helps out.
Right.
But speaking of the NFL, though, going to this week, talking about the games here that are going on here, I guess we'll just go ahead and let's see. Looking back at what who did we pick last week, and I think I put the same picks on my professional pick'em. Last week was a because I think we picked 2 games differently. Last week I went 8-8. Last week I went mediocre at 8-8. I think we both were different in some of these games here. I picked New England, you picked Tampa Bay, and I think I picked New Orleans, you picked Arizona for that one.
Right.
So,
egg on my face.
So one of these days we're gonna have a tally on here, and we might try to start doing that this week or something like that. So we'll see what's gonna happen with that one. But going down the list of games that are happening, Baltimore is at Buffalo. Who you got?
I got Buffalo. What about you?
You know what? Give me the Bills too, since they're home. I like EJ Manuel of how he's been doing and how he's been keeping the Bills in games. And the Ravens on the road do not look that good as they do at home. So I think we'll go ahead and say Give me the Bills. Bengals against the Browns. That game is in Cleveland. Do you think Cleveland's going to get 2 wins in a row?
I think the Minnesota win was more of an arbitration of how bad Minnesota is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati. That one.
Granted, if they do somehow pull it off,
Mm-hmm.
you have to think maybe Cleveland did the right thing and maybe they could be real.
Right. Cincinnati in this game, no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. We'll carry on with the next one here. Chicago is at Detroit.
I'm taking Chicago.
I'm going to go ahead and say Detroit. Once again, there has to be a time here that Jay Cutler is going to
BJ Cutler.
be Jay Cutler. I know a lot of people are thinking I kind of hate Jay Cutler a little bit, but Cutler's going to cut. Cutler's going to cut. It's one of these days. Oh, man. A battle between an 0-3 team and a 3-0 team. New York travels to Kansas City.
Oh man, this is hard. You know what? Screw it. Giants. Oh, these Giants going Kansas City?
Giants, yeah.
Taking the Giants.
Giants.
Taking the Giants. I think it has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
The losing had to stop. I've never seen. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen an 0-4 Eli team since what, rookie year.
Right.
I'm taking New York. Kansas City, although they're 3-0, they do look beatable.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense is fairly limited. I think New York gets their first win this week.
I got Kansas City, and this is going to pain me to really say this and pain me to really look at a Giants team at 0-4. But and I will say this about the Giants, if they can go ahead and if they could probably pressure Alex Smith and do a little bit better than the secondary, I feel like they can possibly go out there and win that game. However, I really don't think that it's going. I just think that the Chiefs are right now. They're pretty much on a good roll. Alex Smith has done a very good job in being a little bit of a game manager, not making mistakes. I don't know if the Giants can get that pressure on them real quick. So right now, I go ahead and say Chiefs. Battle between 0-3 teams, and this game is in London. Pittsburgh against Minnesota. Who gets that win? First win.
Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins just off the quarterback strength. I think Minnesota's just. I mean, I don't want to put it all on Ponder, but I just think they need something to get them through this
Right.
patch.
I don't think Ponder's going to win and be in that game. Matt Castle, and that's probably not going to change my pick anyway. Steelers going to win this game. I have to say this about Pittsburgh though. The game against the Bears, I saw them get a little bit better.
Right.
So I think they are a little bit closer to winning that game. And for the Vikings, I think they just go 0-4 and pretty much I don't know what's going to happen after that. Arizona travels to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. The Mike Glennon era has started.
Yeah. What do you think about that one? First impressions.
First impression, I just think that Seattle probably didn't want Josh Freeman as his quarterback, really. But the problem is, I think Freeman had kind of regressed a little bit, and maybe he might have tuned out Seattle. And it kind of seems like right now that this might be the case here of if this does not work out, you would probably think Seattle might be gone.
True.
So, but Mike Glennon, from what I heard, guy that could play pretty well. He was pretty good at Virginia Tech here and there. We'll see how that translates into in the pros. I think in this game though, give me the Cardinals.
Same, man.
Try not to laugh at this one right here, but Indianapolis travels to Jacksonville.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indy.
I just think Jacksonville may be the number one pick in the draft. They might have the number one pick in the draft. I mean, I think by far they're probably the worst team in the league.
Right. Do you think they'll probably go on 16?
No.
Okay.
I think they can at least win 2 games.
Yeah. They have to. Every dog looks up at least once. So.
Right.
Colts got this game, I think. For the end of the early games, Seahawks travel to Houston to play against the Texans.
Good God, I hope Houston wins. I'm picking Seattle, but I hope Houston wins. Some of these Seattle supporters have gotten ridiculous. I've heard Seattle people, not even really claim themselves as fans, but supporters, just crown Seattle as the best team in the NFL. I just kind of want to see them pro.
It's crazy because a couple of years ago when they made it to the Super Bowl, Seattle was the most boringest team in the league, and it just seemed like they were bland, and they made me sleep during the Super Bowl, as I've always have said. Now they got a little bit more excitement. I'm gonna go ahead and probably say, due to it being an early game, Houston.
Yeah.
Houston. I feel like Houston's going to go out there. They're going to win this game.
And I hope Houston wins.
Right.
But I think I'm going to play it safe and pick Seattle.
I'll go ahead and push the chips out there on the table. Houston. I'll go ahead and say that.
I hope you're right, man, because I want to see Seattle lose just so these supporters can calm down a little bit, because it's getting ridiculous.
Right, exactly. It really is at this point. Starting off with some of the late games here, the Jets going to Tennessee to play against the Titans, but 2-1 teams.
Taking Tennessee. Tennessee should really be 3-0 to me.
Yeah,
I'm taking Tennessee.
Tennessee is kind of
Jake Locker. He's emerging.
Right. Tennessee's kind of been a little bit of the one of those surprise teams out there so far this year, and I feel like they'll probably go out there to win this game. We'll see how Geno does on the road here, but Tennessee's going to go out there and win this game. I already know who you got in this one, Denver against Philadelphia, so I'll just go ahead and say Denver's going to win this game against Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm picking Denver as well. I don't think Philly can match Denver offensively. I think a lot of people caught on to Philly just this quick.
Right. The fast offense, of course, that's going to help your team out a whole lot. But any time that you can probably get Peyton Manning the ball more as far as time possession, the more ways he's going to hurt you. And we've seen that Peyton doesn't need a lot of time to hurt you. But if you give Peyton a lot of time possession, he can also hurt you as well too. So I think Broncos in this game, they really look like world beaters in this case. Washington travels to Oakland to play against the Raiders in the Black Hole.
Gosh, that's a tricky thing. I'm picking Oakland, man. I think Terrell Pryor has enough to get past Oakland. I liked him in the game against Denver. He looked competitive at least. I pick Oakland. Matter of fact, I think Oakland could probably get a rout. If Washington comes in there looking the way they did these past few weeks, I think Oakland can win decisively.
Right. Really have been impressed about Oakland right now. How they've been playing here. Pryor looks like he's questionable, but he has been medically cleared for full contact. Passes one more concussion-related test today is actually. Strong chance that he will start. And I think if he does get a chance to start, he'll go out there. He'll go out there. He'll probably play well, and I'll go ahead and say the Raiders. They'll start off 2-2. They've really impressed me so far this year. Dallas and San Diego. You know who I'm picking in that one.
Yeah.
So who you got?
This is a tricky one, but I'll go with Dallas. They have the hot hand right now. Granted, I think it can go either way. I'm gonna take Dallas. I think San Diego. I mean, pretty much who can Who can make the most mistakes? Who can make the least mistakes between Phillip Rivers and Tony Romo? And I'm gonna take Tony Romo.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. I'll say this about Phillip. Um, he's had a renaissance this season, but there was kind of one funny thing that he had that he did this year. Well, in the last game against against Tennessee, kicking the ball, that was kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny to me. I guess there's any whatever works here. Sunday night game, Atlanta takes on New England. That game is in the Georgia Dome.
I'm taking Atlanta. I think Atlanta can do it just off their defense and their receivers being so down. I think they can outscore New England. If they get out hot, I think they'll decide the game to me. But I'm picking Atlanta. I think they bounce back from their loss to Miami. I think New England's been winning just off the strength of the system so far.
Right.
So I'm picking Atlanta.
Nothing about New England really looks that impressive to me. They're 3-0, but their receivers have that good right away, and I think that they really have not played against it. This is going to be their first real big test here. The 3 games before: Buffalo, New York, Tampa Bay. Not exactly the best in the cream of the crop here. Atlanta, I think their 1-2 record is a little bit more impressive because they've had the Saints, they've had the Rams, and they had Miami. Even though Atlanta has had some injury problems and got a lot of injury problems out there, Atlanta's going to win this game. And I think it might be close, but we're going to see a high-scoring shootout here, and I think that's the way that Atlanta is going to like this one. So, Atlanta.
Right.
And the Monday night game, last but not least, but this is going to be a very good game between 2 3-0 teams. New Orleans, the game is in New Orleans. Will welcome Miami to come into the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
I picked New Orleans to lose last year, that last week, which appears to be foolish now, so I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm picking them to win.
Yeah. I think New Orleans is going to win this game. Liking Miami, how they doing, but I think New Orleans is a little bit right now experienced to win. And the good thing is now, it looks like they have a defense, and that's the most impressive thing too. And shout out to Rob Ryan, he's really helped out that squad because they're not giving up as many yards as they were giving up. So Atlanta's going to win this game, I feel like. And that's pretty much going to be it with those picks right then and there. We'll just go ahead and take ourselves another 30-second break, and we will go back. And when we come back, we will talk about anything else that's also going on in the world of sports today. NBA season's right around the corner. We see some press conferences. We see the new pictures of the new look Lakers, and we also have some comments about what Kobe Bryant has said about Dwight Howard. So when we come back, we'll try to talk a little bit about those. This is the Gafford and Brown Show. All right, we're right back with the Gafford and Brown Show, and it's crazy. Just as we get off of the air, now we got another score at the LSU Georgia game here. Uh, Aaron Murray finds his receiver, and now LSU and Georgia are tied 14-14. Thoughts and impressions on this game early on?
It looks like it's going to be a shootout. I'm enjoying it so far. LSU's defense, man, they've got to step it up.
They really do. They really do, man. Yeah, I think once again I still have LSU probably winning this game, but I said 24-17, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's not that. I think I might throw that one out the window right now. This game might go to like 38-31, something like that. So right now, also going on with some of the other games here. Oklahoma's up on Notre Dame 14-7. Clemson is up on Wake Forest 21-7. A little bit of upset alert right now, even though it is the first quarter. Boston College is up on Florida State 14-3. So
that's a hell of an upset if it happens.
If it does, and I feel like I'm gonna see what's gonna go on right there. West Virginia, they completed the upset over Oklahoma State 30-21. Right now, that Oklahoma State pick of them winning the Big 12, I don't know if it's looking shaky right now, but it could get interesting right now too, because I think that Baylor game, whenever they play against Baylor, that's going to tell a lot on that one. So we still got a couple more also that's going on right away too. But talking about some more of this of the stuff that's going on in the sports world here today, Mariano Rivera, he's basically right now he's completing his last season, getting ready to get to the finishing touches of it. His last game at Yankee Stadium was one of the most touching moments, because when they got ready to get him off of the mound, it was Derek Jeter and Andy Pettitte, two of the guys that had been there from since the 1996 team.
Late 90s.
Yeah. They were the ones that actually got Mariano out, and it was just all a touching moment with goosebumps all over. What would be your first thoughts and impressions on Mariano?
Just the guy's clutch, man. He's clutching consistency in flesh. I mean, he's arguably, well, at least in my eyes, the greatest closer of all time.
Right. Same here. I mean, I don't like the Yankees. I hate the Yankees for that matter. But whenever you have good players like Mariano and Derek Jeter and all that, you can't really hate those guys. You just can't. I mean, if you do, you're pretty much hating baseball, really. And I think he's the best closer of all time. His 600-plus saves say that, but going into the postseason, it just says that a whole lot more. I think an ERA of less than 1 and 42 saves in the postseason, and that's just mind-boggling and baffling, and he's been able to do this consistently for like almost 20 years. And once again, it's just going to be one of those. He's going to be missed. He's going to be really missed right there. And I think, unfortunately, his last game as an MLB player is not going to be in Yankee Stadium. But I think since Joe Girardi says he's going to probably put him out there on center field, I don't know why for that, but it's mostly because Rivera famously shags fly balls in center field to warm up before games, and he wants to go ahead and do that. What do you think about that gesture?
I think it's accommodating. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, pretty much in that case, go out there. Hey, why not? Let him do it. I mean, he's meant a lot to the Yankees. He's meant a lot to the renaissance of the Yankees. And, just got to go ahead and say props to him for that. And once again, it was just an emotional moment just to see him go lead the game. And once again, he's going to be one of those guys here that we will miss. And I got a feeling whenever Derek Jeter decides to hang it up, either next year or probably the year later, we're pretty much going to go through those same emotions and same moments with that one too, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's time for him to come and just retire. It's time.
Right. Let's see here what else is also going on right now in the world here. Let's see. Northwestern State, NSU has a game against Langston. I feel like NSU's going to win that game.
They should.
Other sports news right now, some of the other teams that are in Louisiana is playing. ULM's playing against Tulane today. So I think ULM is going to go out there and they're going to win that game. Texas and Dallas, they're playing against Army. And I feel like Tech is probably going to go out there and win that game, even though I would not be mad if Army does. Mostly because I like the Armed Forces teams and all this stuff, and I like picking them. ULL is probably going to be also going to be playing tonight. Trying to see who are they playing against. Right off the bat, actually they're not playing this week. They got a bye week, so they don't have to worry about that. Other things that are also going on in the sports world here. Derrick Rose says he's going to play the same whenever he comes back, getting ready to play back in the NBA.
I believe him. He's gained 10 pounds of muscle. I think he wants to continue to be the same player by driving to the rim and being aggressive. So, I think he's going to be a man of his word and keep that style play up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's young. I still think that he's gonna be able. He still can play the way that he plays coming back from a major injury. If he was older, he would have to reinvent himself. I just hope that he's not timid in this first game back within a year. But that first game is gonna be pretty interesting to see whenever they get ready to play. So we'll see what's gonna happen with that one. A-Rod hit a grand slam recently, and one of the young Yankees fans gave him the ball back.
Yeah. That's telling.
Another thing right here, Cam Newton was fined $10,000 for Under Armour visor clips that he has been wearing since 2011.
So what's the deal?
I don't know, really, to be honest with you. I think it's the shield, it's the NFL trying to protect this product because I don't think Under Armour is affiliated with them. I think Nike is, though. Once again, it's just crazy. I think Forbes was the one that actually produced the story, and the NFL was just like, well, we got to find a way to try to get some money here. I just don't like dry snitching like that. Really. I just don't. I'm sorry. Unfortunately for you fans out here that are diehard college football fans of the game, NCAA college football, EA is going to drop the game next year, and they're going to try to settle the case as the NCAA fights for the payment of players.
I've heard about it. I saw a headline of that, but I didn't read it. So there'll be no NCAA next year.
No.
Wow. For the first time since when?
Man, it's been since, I want to go ahead, probably it's been like 92 maybe.
That's great.
It really is. It's just like man, it's just like a part of you is just lost because I've always enjoyed getting NCAA in July and getting Madden in August.
So I wonder if 2K could step in and do something, or is it? I don't know.
That's gonna be interesting to see what they would do. If they could settle this lawsuit, we'll see what's going to happen with this game. Maybe once they get everything settled out, who knows? Maybe 2K might step into it and Give EA the competition it needs to make the game better. I think maybe though, I don't know, maybe you think this could probably do a little bit more help than harm, but then like let's say they take a year off to get this game already, they just probably look at the kinks about the bad things that's been going on with this game and just be like,
Well,
oh well,
yeah.
we need to fix this and this and this and this.
Yeah, it could help from that perspective, but at the same time, I mean, the reason why these games are released yearly because of money.
Money, yeah.
So, you never want to miss out on that.
That's the other thing, yeah, exactly. The Dodgers already declared themselves National League champions.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean,
Willis McGahee expects dramatic improvement from him over his 9 yards last week.
he plays for Cleveland now, right?
Yes.
I wish he was still a Bronco. However, the youth movement is taking place in Denverland, so I can't be bad about that.
I have to go ahead and say this. Anytime you get 9 yards in the game, there's nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Tiger, no, not a surprise here. Tiger Woods voted PGA Player of the Year for the 11th time of his career.
Not surprising at all.
Let's see here what else is going on as well. Got ourselves a little bit of still once again playoff races in the MLB right now. It's getting a little bit hot right here. Looks like we got ourselves some very good ones right now. As far as the divisions are concerned, well, the Red Sox are going to be in the playoffs. The Tigers won their. It looks like they're going to win their division. Let's see here. Some of these other teams here. The Oakland A's is going to win their division as well. Looks like the Cardinals are going to win theirs. Dodgers won theirs, and the Braves won theirs. Now, as far as the wild cards are concerned, right now, looks like the Pirates and the Reds are going to be playing against each other in the playoffs in their little one-game playoff here. We got.
I like the Pirates. I'm really liking the way the playoffs are looking right now. We got the Braves who clinch the division, the Cardinals who clinch. Then you have the story with the Pirates. It's going to be an interesting postseason.
Oh yeah, I really can't wait to watch some of those games too. And right now, also it looks like it's a very interesting 3-team race in the AL. The Rays, the Indians, and the Rangers are right now fighting for that spot here too. And who you see probably going to get knocked out of those 3 teams?
Probably the Rays.
Yeah, unfortunately, it might seem like to be that case. Indians right now, 8 wins in a row. Rangers have 6 wins in a row. Really turn up the heat on the Rays. And actually, to be honest with you, I would not mind if there's another one-game playoff just to get to that one-game playoff. So, I would enjoy that a whole lot. A whole lot. Let's see. Anything else going on right now? Looks like here, Dante Cole. I'm reading something about Dante Culpepper. He has no regrets. I'm guessing this might have to be concerned with the Love Boats thing, or
that whole scandal.
That whole scandal, or something like that. Well, while I'm trying to figure out this, we have another. We look like we had ourselves another scandal where Jacoby Jones was hit upside the head with a bottle by a stripper.
I've heard about this.
Oh, Dante Culpepper has no regrets about his destructive knee injury, the fracturing of his relationship with the Vikings, or how his once dominant quarterbacking career unceremoniously faded out.
Well, now. That's how it's in the history book.
Unfortunately, it happens and it just goes away, and that's just pretty much it. Christian Ponder is going to be out for the game for the Vikings, by the way, too. So it looks like Matt Castle will start for the Vikings. I don't think that changes a bit here, and I just think that the Steelers are going to go out there and win this game. Let's see, anything else that's also going on, too. It's also crazy here that it looks like the Browns are thinking about also trading some more pieces away, like Josh Gordon. That's his receiver's name, I think.
I think so.
I think they're thinking about trading away those pieces. Looks like it's tank city for them, but I would laugh if they win these next 14 games or something like that. Even though it's not going to happen, I don't think. Of course not, but I would laugh really. And it looks like that's pretty much going to be it. I saw something actually yesterday. Well, actually over getting one of these ESPN magazines here, where I think they listed who's the best franchise in all the sports right now. Care to guess who's the number one team?
The best franchise in all sports?
In all sports, the four major sports.
I'm gonna have to say the pay. We talking about financially, winning wise. What are the credentials?
The credentials are, let's see here. I'm reading it right now. The credentials are based on this. This is from ESPN magazine. The credentials are based on, I'm thinking it's just, let's see. I think winning wise is winning. Fan support, team performance, and all that.
I'm not saying New England.
No.
Who?
Memphis Grizzlies.
What?
The Memphis Grizzlies. It's shocking to me too, but mostly it's because, yeah, we are shocked. But they said it's mostly by fan voting too. But I guess it really depends on the value and everything too. Looking at how they go ahead and do this here is pretty much, let's see, expectations and all that stuff, and I guess just the ultimate product that's out there on the field here. I'll go ahead and list down who's the top 10. Grizzlies are 1, Spurs are 2, Pacers are 3, your Thunder are 4.
So this is the NBA ranking? This is the NBA?
This is all the teams, all NHL.
I don't get it. I'm lost.
Check out our standings
The
breakdown.
best franchise in sports?
Right. Right now.
I'm lost.
Like right now, I think it's mostly by fan surveys and all that stuff too, and just basically like the fan base that they have out there and the court and everything else. I think here's the main thing. Title track to winning a championship. I think it's 3.6% of that. Then 10.2% of that is based on ownership. 3.1 is based on coaching. 11.3 is based on the players. 25.2% is based on fan relations. 17.4 is based on affordability of tickets and stuff. Stadium experience is 12.4%, and the bang for the buck, wins and all that stuff, 16.8%. I know it's shocking, huh? Packers are 5, Diamondbacks are 6, Penguins are 7, 8 is the Anaheim Ducks, 9 is the Ottawa Senators, and number 10 is the Baltimore Ravens. Now for our other teams here that we like, Denver Broncos, they're 15 on the list. Braves are 23 on the list. Mavericks are 29 on the list.
What about your Cowboys?
Cowboys are right down there at number 107. And the worst franchise in sports right now is the Sacramento Kings.
Well, I was gonna say Jacksonville. Huh? Well, who they just gave Marcus Cousins a max deal.
And I see improvement on them. I think they could probably improve here. Oh yeah, you would be shocked too. The Jaguars are 75.
Wow.
Better than the Lakers. So I really don't know about this list anymore. It's just something I just saw and read or something like that. So I don't know. Anything else that's going on right now. And speaking about this London thing too, you think they should scrap this idea?
Yeah, it's not getting over. I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, football in London is soccer. It's not. The NFL game doesn't translate well overseas.
Right. Nah, I'm not gonna go ahead and say that. I just think that it's not gonna work. Having regular season games in London, taking away a ticket from one of the home teams and stuff like that, it's not gonna work. I think when you had it as having those games in the preseason, in those games elsewhere, I would like to see that come back, but in the regular season game, no. And it looks like once again the NFL has another thing to nitpick about. They tell the Jacksonville Jaguars no more OW tag for Denard Robinson. And in other words, listing him as an offensive weapon. I don't know why. Another shocking thing too, Buffalo Bills have the fastest offense in the league, not the Philadelphia Eagles.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm not shocked necessarily by that because I mean they look efficient. And I think that first game with Philly was really our inauguration, and I think it was just impressive because
right.
Fast. I think Washington's defense was really that bad.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be the case right there. And also, New York City is going to host the NBA All-Star Game in 2015. That's going to be exciting. There, I think the Nets and the Knicks are going to get the chance to split that up a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that one. And then
2016 is in Toronto.
And I'm happy about that. Finally, it's about time to have it in Toronto. I would like to see how that game, how that goes. Maybe would love to make a trip down up there. I don't know, but just like to see the game go to Canada finally for a change and stuff. So there you go with that one. And as far as you guys that want NBA 2K14 and which teams that you should run with, of course the number one team that they have out there is going to be the Miami Heat.
Of course.
But they also have the Spurs as number 2, 3 is the Pacers, 4 are the Bulls, and 5 is the Thunder. Other teams, notable teams at 7, the Nets at 8, Knicks at 9, Grizzlies at 10, Rockets are 11, Mavericks at 13, Cavaliers are actually the number 14 team, and the Pelicans are 15. And the team that probably nobody might get a chance to play with, the worst team on the game is going to be the Utah Jazz.
Really? Not Sacramento?
Not Sacramento. Sacramento's 25. The Sixers are actually 29. And I'm shocked about that too.
Oh, well, so what are the Bobcats?
Bobcats are 24. Above the Kings, Suns, Magic, Bucks, Sixers, and Jazz. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to go ahead and wrap up our show right now.
Tuesday night, show, now I forgot which number, but we'll be back Tuesday night.
Definitely, and we gotta have that show really because this is going to be a very interesting show because the Cowboys were playing against the Broncos. We're gonna have a lot of trash talk in that game. We're gonna have a lot of trash talk on that show, and we're gonna try to get a moderator up there too, just to talk about, I guess, everything else that's going on in the sports world too, and try to moderate who that's gonna be. I'm not gonna give out what's going to be the bet real quick, but if there's any suggestions, please list them to us. So until that time, I'm Lamar Gafford,
I'm Robert Brown.
and until next Tuesday, this Tuesday coming up,
Yeah.
we will see you later, and have a nice day.